hope traders and investors alike were green on Friday. In this video, I want to go over our energy list and see what names are looking bullish in here, what names are looking bearish. 2 weeks ago, we pointed out some individual names, talking about the cups and handles, and there was widespread cups and handles across the whole sector. So kind of see where how they've developed, which ones have broken out, which ones we're still waiting on. Also want to go over the 5 industries. The energy sector is broke down into 5 separate industries, and we'll take a look at those charts and see who's doing what. So this is Brent crude, above the 200, below the 50 there. Would be nice to get above that 50. Light crude. In this case, we are below the 200 and below the 50. We need to break out above this 200. It's been at the problem area. We have taken out the downtrend, but this 200's in the way. Natural gas, this is one of the cup and handle areas, and it's still struggling up here with resistance. You can see it did break above it and has been pulled back down. Is respecting the 9, so hopefully we can get a move up there this week. AMR, this is another very strong stock. I've traded the stock several times with shares. The liquidity into it is not the greatest, but we have gotten, it's come down here, it's put in this little base. You can almost see the cup and handle right here, just a little rougher, but either way, it's put in this little base down here, and we're moving up, flagging here, waiting on the 9. Liquidity is not the greatest with that, with options. You can see the weekly chart looks decent as well. This list has the daily and the weekly charts. So you can see APA, Apache, put in this rounded bottom, really rough looking handle here. So it's really hard to call this one a cup and handle. But either way, it put in a rounded bottom, pulled back, put in, just added to a base down here, and we are now pushing up. So that's one that we can keep an eye on this week. Weekly chart looks good. You're back above all your major moving averages there. AR, you can see this little breakout here. You can see the cup and a small handle here as well. Another thing about energy stocks is they seem to do well in rising rates, and that seems to be what the market's possibly going to be thinking going into this week, is rates are rising. So that's another reason why we're pointing these out. So this is AR's weekly, above all your major moving averages there. Arch, we've been screaming these coal stocks, and made a nice run here. Arch liquidity is rough with options. It is tradable if you're looking to trade it with some time. It's not one that you can move in and out of quickly, but it is a very good stock to trade with shares. Flagging there, you can go back and you can see it's flagging here, waiting on your 9, coming up. Hopefully we can push up here. Right at resistance on the weekly, so we are in an area where we do need to keep a close eye onto it. We could see some pulling back to come, pull back to go back up and retest resistance. It's very possible. So you got LFG here. You got this nice cup down here. This one has not been on the exchange for a very long time. Looks like it was come into public December of 2020, looks like. But you can see, as good as the chart looks, this is why I like using multiple time frames. As good as this chart looks really decent here. Going out to your weekly chart, you can see you're right into a big downtrend. So I would personally want to see that downtrend be taken out on the weekly chart. And it could be as simple as a candle opening up tomorrow above this level, your first candle in your weekly candle. But if I could see that candle get above that, I may be interested in trading it, but not interested until that happens. AREC, this is one that we posted to Twitter, we posted to Facebook. Nice breakout here. This play right here, I actually put in a video, one of these small cap videos that I did, and at the very end of the video, this chart was into it. So if anybody watched that video and was able to catch this play because of it being snuck into the video, Congratulations. Nice push up here. This was an earnings move. We got this breakout of this little, just same thing, another little like bull pennant flag type here into your moving averages. It's flagged into your moving averages. Earnings come out good, and they were able to push up. This was the setup. We posted it right here on that video and got 3 nice updates out of that move. That's a small coal stock. You can see AREC a weekly chart, put in this rounded bottom, tried to push up, but then it's got a double bottom down here on the weekly. Would possibly see your neckline. It's not the best neckline. Your neckline really is all the way down here, and it's not that big of a move. So the double bottom's already been accounted for. Anything that comes up, now it's just further movement up to the upside. I should have drawn a line across here. You can see we're above. There's a resistance level here we keep getting back into. We are above that now. The 50's kind of telling us where it's at there. So we have a decent weekly chart on this one as well. BKR, this one's not doing as well. Let's go look at the weekly. 50's resistance there. You can see your weekly, your looks like your 9's resistance here on the weekly as well. BP, it's a decent stock. The liquidity is not the greatest, but it is tradable. The one thing I don't like about stocks like this, and I have traded this stock, and we have traded it in a Discord, but I just don't like these big gaps. For my style of trading, I rely on previous day and pre-market numbers and levels. And when you have all these gaps, you just don't have the availability of those levels. And I just like trading with those. They help me out tremendously. BP weekly chart looks good here. Both charts look good. Coming up into resistance, so you definitely want to be aware, like especially looking out at that weekly, you can see you have a little room here to run, but you're coming into a resistance. So this could come back down, flag on this 9 and push again, but you want to be aware there's resistance there. We could put in another little base here, possibly. We could go right through it, but we could possibly put in a small base here and then take that level out to the upside. Like I say, rising interest rates, crude's starting to try to push. Some of these stocks have already come back. Crude's trying to push, trying to get above that 200 in those levels. And the rising interest rates, crude or energy stocks just do better with rising interest rates. So there's a lot of bullishness, possibly getting ready to come into the energy sector just because of the rising interest rates. BSM, you got another cup and handle pattern here. It's another one of those. I don't think we pointed out this particular chart, but just basically what we said search for in the energy sector. If you wasn't interested into the charts that we posted, we give you patterns to look for that was littered in the energy sector. You can see BSM here. This is not really an ascending triangle, but we're coming back. We're respecting this trend line, coming back into resistance. Could be going for a breakout there. BTU, this is BTU's weekly. This is one that we have been, all right, did we skip the daily? Maybe we'll get to it. BTU's weekly coming off a double, or the daily was coming off a double bottom. You can see the double bottom right here in these candles as well on the weekly. She had such a shallow neckline. CEI, one of the little favorite small cap stocks that just kind of got left for dead there. CIVI, this has been pushing up as well. You can almost see like the rounded bottom here, breaking above that 50, continuing to push up. That's the same setup that a lot of these stocks had. Was basically we were waiting to get above the 50. We cleared the 50. We were able to push up. CIVI on the weekly chart, back above all your major moving averages there. So some of these look a little extended on the daily, but going out to look on the weekly, they're really not that extended. They may just need a small pullback. Some of them definitely could use a flag off the 9. So it's basically what I'm going to be looking for this week. These stronger names to come back and touch the 9 and see if we can get another push. See if we can get a buy the 9 strategy on them. CLR, this is the weekly chart. You can see we're trading in these channels, and we're now back above. You can also see how this works. We push up, we pull back, and we come back and retest. So we've done the same thing here. Maybe this is ready for another breakout. You can see how it, comes up, test, pulls back, takes it out, comes up, test, pulls back, takes it out, comes up, retesting, pulling back. Maybe we can take out this level, push up to the next. This is CLR's daily chart. You can almost see the little rounded bottom right in here. Been putting in a nice little base. I would draw a line across your top. That way you keep an eye out for that as you approach it. Just another strong stock. The liquidity is not the greatest in them, in that one. COP, you can see this rounded bottom here. Cup. You can also see this little inverted head and shoulder pattern that was in here. Breaking, so this would have been breaking that neckline. Now it's breaking out of a cup, trying to push up. I would like to see it pull back and retest and then push. That's what I'm going to be looking for. That would be a textbook move, but we don't always get these textbook moves, and we still find ways to make money. CPE, this one's not been doing so great. You can see the little cup and handle pattern being put in down here as well. The same little pattern. Coming back, testing resistance. Maybe this one will strengthen up, but they haven't really been coming for it as well. You can see the weekly chart here, and this kind of explains the why. One of the things we talked about when energy was running so hard earlier in the year, that we needed to take out that 2018 to 2019 levels, that the stocks that took that level out would be stronger. This is that level right here, and we have not yet took that level out with this asset. CTRA, this is another decent stock to trade. I don't know how the liquidity is in this name. Been watching it for a while. I don't think I've ever traded it. If I have, it was with shares. I've never traded with options. I don't think the liquidity is the greatest into it. But you can see, you can see the setup right there, the same setup that we were watching for all these other names. It's the same setup we pointed out 2 weeks ago. I've been getting a lot of nice breakouts. That's just like in the beginning of June, we said to start watching the utility sector. That's where it plays to start moving your money at the time. I'm screwing this up here. And it pulled back for about another 2 weeks, slightly pulled back before it started to run. Then it became the number one, the number one sector for over a month after. So sometimes it just takes a little time. This is why we build watch lists, so we know to watch this sector, and when things start to happen, then we go after it. But in that time, tech and everybody was running, don't get me wrong, but utilities were the number one performing sector. CTRA, you can see the same little, I like being able to see going from your daily, where you can see the cup and handle, and then spotting a familiar pattern, on the weekly. You can see the almost little cup and handle, same pattern there, trying to break to the upside. CVX, this is one of the names we track daily. Cup and handle, it's finally breaking out above it here. But you can see some other names are still stronger, with the liquidity that we need to trade. Some of these names are just not good for how we trade, but you can still have, you can still trade them with options with a little bit different style. DEN, remember we got some news on this thing and it popped right up. It's been basing up here ever since. There was no liquidity in them options at all. There was a lot of strikes that had zero open interest, and a few had 50, 80, under 100. You can see it's taken out a resistance level here. I'm not going to draw the line, but if you draw a line straight through there, you can see it's taken that out, holding up above here. Really need to get back in them Bollinger Bands. Low extended there. This is the industry sector for the coal, and this is the reason why we've been watching coal so hard. It's because I've been seeing this inverted cup and handle form down here. Now we have broken out of the inverted cup and handle. Now we're at resistance levels here. So I would expect a pullback possibly to the 9, hopefully no further, pullback to the 9 and then push up. So coal is still definitely on the radar. This right here, this level right here can actually act as a support, which puts us right about where the 9 is. That's what I would like to see, is a pullback, then go back at that resistance level and take that resistance level out. So this is the exploration and production index. You can almost see shoulder, head, shoulder right there. You can almost see the same little inverted head and shoulder base, and it's broken out to the upside. So this is the stuff that we were seeing in the energy and the industrial, or in the energy sector. When we start talking about, hey, now's a good time to invest your money. So we look a little deeper than just, all right, the XLD chart. We're trying to see, where the money's coming into, which companies inside of the sector is the money coming into. So this is the integrated oil and gas. You can see this little, it's been respecting this trend line, worked its way right back up into this little, it's not really ascending triangle because you don't coil up and test. I know it resembles one, but it's kind of coiling here, but not as much. But it's been respecting this trend line, heading back up into resistance, took that out. I would watch this area right here for support. This is possibly going to come back down, retest, waiting on this 9 to catch up now. Remember, these are the daily charts for these. I don't have the monthly charts for the industries. So the U.S. Oil Equipment and Services Index inside of the energy sector, having this rounded bottom here. Looks like we're breaking out over this 200, come back retested Friday. I would definitely want to see where, this heads. I'm hoping for a retest and a push. It gives us a little bit of time for this 9 to catch up. If we can hold this 200 here, this sector may be trying to push. If anybody's interested, I can give you a breakdown of the stocks in each one of these sectors, and I will be glad to post that in the Discord. It's just so much to put in one video. So this is the pipelines. You can see they've been trading right into this channel here, super strong, banging its head on the top side of this channel. Even in the Bollinger Bands, it was banging its head on the Bollinger Bands there. Pull back. I mean, you can see how strong this has been. So we've pulled back to the 9. We could, be looking for another push off this 9 this week. And like I say, I can break that down and post for you guys if you're interested, if you want to see the inside of these sectors. DVN, or the inside, the stocks inside of these industries. DVN, we've been talking about this. Pete's been all over it. This is one of the first 4 names we started trading in Discord: Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Oxy, and DVN. And these names are still relevant today. We're still making money on them today. We are extended here. In a case like this, I would love to see just a pullback to the 9, and I would be looking to buy it. If it pulls back to that 9, I'd be looking to buy it. As long as I've seen as long as I've seen a reaction at the 9 back to the upside, I would have no problems going in there and buying the 9 on that one. You can see the DVN's weekly chart. Your MACD is getting ready to cross there. So even though your daily looks like it's extended, looks like it could use a small pullback, but pullback to 9, really all it needs. Looking at your weekly chart, it shows you that you're not as extended as it looks. EQT, this is one of the ones that we posted that we had in the video. So we had the cup and handle pattern. We were able to break out of this resistance right back into the next resistance. So this is the one to look to take out here to push up for new, at least 52-week highs. I don't know if it would be an all-time high, but look for new 52-week highs. This 9's catching up. This may need a small pullback and a repush, but that's definitely one to watch this coming into this week is EQT. Watching for a breakout there. you can see the cup on the weekly chart. I love seeing that when I can look at the daily and I can, find a pattern. Then I can go and see a very similar pattern on the weekly chart. Just have better faith in stocks like that. Fang, you have this rounded bottom here. I would be looking to take profits on this one if you're still in this. We have a member who was trading this. One of our Facebook members was trading this off a recommendation. You can see we had a nice breakout here. It's the only reason why I say a word. I still think there's more upside, but I would be looking to take profits off the option because of time and looking for a new entry on that one. Fang, you're starting to see a little cut forming here, a little rounded bottomish area forming. I like being able to see that. FLR in this downtrend here, descending channel on the weekly. You can see the daily chart trying to battle back up, almost cup and handle, trying to push its way back up, but you can literally see a slight downtrend on the weekly there. So we did try to push up out of it this week and pulled back the end of the week. Probably that candle on Friday pulled it back just enough not to take that line out. Halliburton, this getting a rounded bottom down here, they may be coming for this one soon, but this is not one to have on the radar right this second. I should have had this drawn. This is one to definitely keep an eye on, but not, let's get a little more, see if we can get a little more life into this one before we go after it. But some of these other names that have run up may be taking a couple of days off, and they could come after some of these names like this. But you can see the rounded bottom there. Halliburton weekly, we got back above the 50. You still got your 20 moving average right there to take out on the upside. But we did make it back above the 50. HP, putting this base in down here, so you're testing resistance right now. We need to get above this before we look for an entry. This is the one we got a really good play, got a really good catalyst off a flow on this thing, and got some nice action out of it. The weekly testing, right now, you can see we're tied up into some major moving averages here. If we can get it open tomorrow above this last one right here, which looks to be the 20, we can look for a move up. I'd like to see the Monday will give us a new weekly candle, and would like to see that open up above that 20. LNG, natural gas, we were screaming it 2 weeks ago. We started, posting the natural gas charts. LNG, TEL, and UNG are the three that I like to look at. You can see this nice run here. You're getting, look, you flagged here, you push, you're getting another flag here. Your MACD's looking like it wants to roll. Still worth keeping an eye on, but when you're extended like that, you're not looking for a longer play there. But you can see the weekly chart breaking out above previous resistance. LPI, this chart's just been pretty volatile there. See, we had this cup come back, formed a handle, got a nice ripping breakout. This thing went vertical, and then it had just as big of a pullback there. LPI weekly. MPC, you can see the cup and handle-ish action and pushing up. MGY, you can see the cup and handle action. Draw your resistance line right there. You can see the same pattern breaking up, pushing to the upside. MGY's weekly chart, you can see we are above all our major moving averages now. MPC weekly, I think we went over that one. MRO, cup and handle, we go over this one a lot. Not going to spend any time on that. We talk about that one in the daily videos. MTDR, it's another one that's moving a lot. We see pop up on the scanners. I don't think it's a very good liquidity reasons an option stock, but definitely tradable with shares. It's not a very nice looking chart. You can see the rounded bottom, or a little cup, never really formed anything. OVV, same cup and handle, breaking to the upside. And like I say, this is the pattern that we pointed out And 2 weeks ago, Oxy's put in another cup here with that push. It's actually formed a cup. It has took out the resistance level, support, which now becomes support, trying to hold that, waiting on this 9 to catch up. As I was saying about the cup and handle patterns, it's what we pointed out 2 weeks ago, and you can see all through the energy sector there's been breakouts of that pattern. Oxy got a cup here on the day or on the weekly. PBR, big push, got this cup, big push. That's a smaller cap stock that would have made it this move, $2 move there on a $14 stock in 2 weeks. That's not bad. PDCE, this is definitely not getting the same amount of attention, but you can draw a resistance line through here. Looks like you've actually just took that out, so we may be seeing some life coming back into this one. Looks like it's hanging out waiting for the 9 to catch up. Here's the BTU daily chart from the beginning of the video. So you had this double bottom here. We actually talked about this in a video, and we have now pushed up. We pointed the double bottom out before it was ever formed. Of course, it's not confirmed until it breaks out, but we were on it down here looking for a move up. ROCC, you can see the cup and handle pattern pushing up. RRC, same pattern we were pointing out. It's all over the energy sector. Definitely could have been some money made there. SLB, not as strong as some of the other ones. We actually pointed out SLB. That was one of the charts we looked at. This is one as well. SLCA, they deal with sand for fracking, I believe. Something along them lines. You got a cup, never really formed too much of a handle, but it's trying. It's still same level here, still important. If we get above that level, maybe we can push. SU, you have a double bottom on this one as well, kind of like BTU. Took it out, coming back, testing support, waiting on the 9 to catch up. Tomorrow, we had so much selling in the market last week on Friday that there was no buyers coming in. Definitely going to do a video on the market. But tomorrow, just seeing which way what the market wants to do is going to be a pretty big deal. Kind of see the little double bottom down here on that SU. We did take out this 20 here. We ended up pulling back due to Friday's candle. Another one that natural gas name that we were throwing out there, and this thing's moved considerably. What, $1? Just about $1 there for that's almost a 20, 19, 18% move on that by it being such a small stock. TRP, USO is definitely not the place to been investing your money. When it comes to energy, I say this all the time, a lot of the individual energy names will outperform USO every day of the week. So that's the place to be when it comes to energy, is the individual names. Or even the XLE, but not playing crude itself. VLL, you got this rounded bottom. This is kind of like what you would call a saucer bottom down here. I'd like to see this gap finish getting filled and then take this resistance level out. It's tradable up to that. If it gets the right move off that 9, you're back above all your major moving averages on your weekly. VNOM, you can still see the cup and handle action right there. Pretty much the same pattern it broke up out of. There's your weekly testing, come back down, tested support and pushed up. Nice move there. XLE, you can see the same cup and handle-ish pattern right there. XLE, this is the weekly chart. We are back above all our major moving averages. XOM, this is ExxonMobil. You can see the cup and handle pattern. they're not all super textbook, but they're breaking out. They're working. Some of your better, most perfect patterns are the ones that'll fail, and some of the ones that are a little sloppier. Don't look down. A lot of times it'll have more to do with a market condition than what it will the actual how pretty the pattern is. The market conditions surrounding the pattern. This is XOP. This is the oil and gas exploration ETF. Nice cup and handle. We were looking, just like a lot of them, we really wasn't looking so much for resistance, looking to get above the 50 here. That's why that line was drawn like that. Got above the 50, come back down, retested the 9, then continue to push up. That would have made a nice retest. That would have been the perfect place to buy for the conservative trader. You got your breakout, you waited for your retest. Your conservative trader waits for the retest. Back above all your major moving averages there on the weekly. And that concludes our video today. Long. I hope you stayed to the end. There's a lot of nice setups in here. Hope you're green this week, and I'll see you in the trading room.